So basically you have to I will rewrite again about the diamond because the last session ended in a short time. So for diamond, the structure, each carbon form 4 covalent bonds and giant tetrahedral structure. Properties with a and reason for that, diamond is having high melting and boiling point. Because strong force between the within the structure due to it is high melting and does not conduct electricity. So why it cannot conduct electricity? Because no free electron or ions. High melting and boiling point because of strong force and giant structure. Does not conduct electricity. Because there is no free electron or free ions. Insoluble in water because of giant structures. So these are the properties with reason. Then the uses you have to write, at least write 2 uses. And the structure I will draw again. You have carbon bonded with 4 other carbon atoms. Take the screenshot. I'll move on to next topic. This was about diamond. The second one, the giant structure, which you have to learn. The uses you have to write by yourself. That's why I did not mention a use here. The second giant structure which you have to learn is about graphite. Graphite also contains carbon. So how we explain the structure? So actually it's a hexagonal ring. When we say hexa, hexa means 6. So there are 6 carbon atoms like making a ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the link between them. So this is one ring. Why we call hexagon? Hexa means 6. So it's a hexagonal ring. And this will continue. Like how it will continue? 1, 2, then 3. 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6. So you will join them. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see here the hexagonal ring. So you can see a hexagonal ring, every ring is having 6 carbon atoms. Then it is also a layer structure. What is a layer structure? Means this is one layer of graphite. Then there is another layer of graphite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you know, carbon belongs to group 4. So maximum number of the bonds which the carbon can form maximum 4 bonds. But in this structure, carbon is forming only 3 bonds. So what does it mean? It means there is one free electron in the structure. The use of the diamond you have to write. So this is one layer, this is another layer. And there is attraction between the layers. The dotted line is representing the attraction, but that attraction is very weak attraction. So this one, if I say this is layer 1 and this one is layer 2, no, it is, yeah, this is infinite number of atoms, because I can continue, we can continue this, like there will be more here. I did not draw that, but it has infinite number of atoms, so it is having a giant structure. So how you explain this structure? You will mention each carbon form 3 covalent bonds and 1 free electron, which can move within the structure, and graphite has giant hexagonal layer structure. So it is giant and hexagon because 6 carbon atoms are there, and there are layers because this is like one layer. If you look from the sideways, how it will appear, like if this red line is representing one layer, then this will be second layer, third layer. So group of carbon atoms in the layer. Whenever you have a graphite, they're always in layers, and there's a weak force between the layers. Because there are no bonds between the layers, or weak attraction is there only. So the force between the layer is weak. Then what are the properties with the reason? So if I say it has high melting and boiling point, what is the reason for that? If a structure or a compound is having high melting or a boiling point, it will have a high, if it will have a macromolecular or a giant structure. So whenever there is a giant structure, the compound will always have high melting and boiling point. Conduct electricity. Why it can conduct electricity? Because it has free electron. There's an electron which is free within the structure, and due to this electron, it can conduct electricity. Then it is soft and slippery. Why? Because layers can slide over each other. So the layers can slide over each other. That's why graphite is soft and slippery. The uses of graphite you have to write. Again, you have to write 2 uses, same like diamond. So you have to learn these points and learn how to draw the structure of graphite. So each carbon will form 3 covalent bonds. And 1 free electron. The graphite has a giant hexagonal layer structure. The force between the layers is weak, and the properties and reason: high melting and boiling point because of giant structure. It can conduct electricity because of free electron, and it is soft and slippery because the layers can slide over each other. Any doubt in this? So basically the structure, you have to learn the structure and the properties. Which first point, the properties or the structure? Insoluble in water does not, giant structures, giant covalent structures or covalent compounds are insoluble in water. Look, you can see here, if I take this carbon, how many bonds it formed? 3. 1, 2, and 3. So each carbon formed 3 covalent bonds. And there is 1 free electron. And then it has a giant hexagonal. Why we call hexagon? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are there in the structure. So 6 carbon atoms in the structure. That's why we call that as hexagonal structure. So giant hexagonal structure, and layers are also there. It's like this is one layer of the graphite, then this is another layer of the graphite, and there's a weak force between the layers so that these layers can slide over each other. Is it clear? Take the screenshot. I will move on to the next giant structure. Then we'll do some questions also related to these structures. The third one is sand, or also called silicon 4 oxide. So what it contains is silicon 4 oxide, the structure. You have silicon. Silicon belongs to group 4. So it can form 4 bonds. And it also contains oxygen. So silicon bonded with oxygen. Then this will continue, another silicon. Form bonds with oxygen. Same way, silicon. Bonded with oxygen, 4 oxygens, and then a silicon, another silicon. Bonded with oxygen. And this will continue. So how you explain this structure? Each silicon form 4 covalent bonds with oxygen, and each oxygen form 2 covalent bonds with silicon. You can see here, if I say silicon, how many bonds it forms? The number of the bonds which are formed by the silicon, 4. And number of the bonds formed by each oxygen is equals to 2. So oxygen is forming 2 bonds where silicon is forming 4 bonds. Then it has giant, means infinite number of atoms in the structure, tetrahedral, structure. So it has giant tetrahedral structure. You can see here, it resembles with the one which I drew first, the diamond. The structure of a diamond is similar to that of silicon 4 oxide. So both have the same tetrahedral structure, giant tetrahedral structures. And then the properties. And reason. So it has similar properties that of diamond. Number 1, high melting and boiling point. Why high melting and boiling point? Because of giant structure. Does not conduct electricity. Why it cannot conduct electricity? Because no free electron is there. And insoluble in water, or does not dissolve in water. Covalent compounds are insoluble in water because of their type of force and the geometry. So insoluble in water due to giant covalent structure. The uses, again, the uses you have to write. Two uses of silicon 4 oxide or sand. Basically, silicon 4 oxide is sand. So you should be able to draw the structure and explain the structure of silicon 4 oxide. Is it clear? Any doubt in this? Take the screenshot. Now I will discuss some questions related to, we just now finished topic of covalent, and the last one is metallic is left. That we'll do tomorrow and finish this chapter as well. And if we compare, if I say, what are the similarities write the uses of silicon 4 oxide sand. Uses of sand. You have to write at least 2 uses. So if we compare the similarities between diamond and graphite. So if I say what are similarities between diamond and graphite, like I will show you the structure. This is a diamond, structure of diamond, and this one is a structure of graphite. What are the two similarities? How they are similar to each other?
Both of them have high melting points.
Yes, and what else?
Both have a tetrahedral arrangement of the molecule of the particles.
Diamond is having tetrahedral, but graphite is having hexagonal.
Sorry, sir.
So what are the similarities between look, first thing you can see, graphite contain carbon, diamond also contain carbon. So basically both of them contain carbon atoms. So that's the first similarity. You can mention about melting or high boiling point, but this one which you can see easily, both contain carbon. So I can say carbon as a diamond, I can also say carbon as a graphite. What is the second similarity? Both have giant structures. Yeah, both are insoluble, that also you can mention, but these are the one which is very common. While looking at the structure you can identify. If I say what are similarities between diamond and silicon 4 oxide.
Both of them cannot conduct electricity.
And what are the similarities? How diamond, both of them does not conduct electricity. This
high
is
melting
silicon,
points.
both of them high melting point. Or you can mention both have the giant structures. Both have giant tetrahedral structure because due to giant tetrahedral structure, they have high melting and boiling point. So the first similarity, they have giant structures. The second similarity, does not conduct electricity. Same thing if I say similarity between silicon 4 oxide and graphite. How they're similar to each other. How silicon 4 oxide is similar to graphite.
Both of them have high melting points and both of them are insoluble in water.
Yeah. Or both of them have a giant structures. And both of them are insoluble in water, or both of them have high melting point. These are the similarities between the two. But if I say what are the differences, two differences between diamond and graphite, how they're different from each other. What is the difference between diamond? You can see here, this one is diamond and this one is graphite. How they're different from each other? Anyone want to answer? How diamond and graphite are different from each other?
Diamond cannot conduct electricity, unlike graphite.
Yeah, so means graphite can conduct, but diamond cannot conduct. What else?
Diamond has a tetrahedral arrangement of the carbon atoms, and graphite has a hexagonal layer structure.
Yes. Or one of them is hard. The diamond is hard. Diamond is actually the hardest substance known, where graphite is soft and slippery. And the third one you just mentioned, that one is tetrahedral. Where graphite is hexagonal. Then what are the differences between diamond and silicon 4 oxides? How diamond and silicon 4 oxide are different from each other? What might be the differences between Yes, anyone want to answer? You can use your mic or you can just type if you want to. Two differences.
Diamond only has carbon atoms, while silicon oxide has silicon and oxygen bonds.
Yeah. So basically, diamond is an element. Element means it contains identical atom, where silicon 4 oxide is a compound. Because the diamond is element, means it contains only carbon, where silicon 4 oxide, diamond is element because it only contains carbon atoms, where sand or silicon 4 oxide is compound, which contain silicon and oxygen. What else? The second difference between them? What might be the second difference? So you can check the structure. So when you check the structure, here each atom forms 4 bonds. But in silicon 4 oxide, silicon forms 4 bonds, but oxygen forms 2 bonds. The number of the bonds formed by each atom is not same in silicon 4 oxide. But in diamond, you can see each carbon is forming 4 bonds. This is 4, 4, 4, and 4. But in silicon 4 oxide, each atom is not forming the same number of the bonds. In diamond, each atom form same number of bonds, which is 4. Then the last one, the two differences between silicon 4 oxide and graphite. Yeah, what are the differences between silicon 4 oxide and graphite? So this is graphite, the other one is silicon 4 oxide. So the first difference is same as like a diamond, because in graphite also it contain only carbon atoms. So the first difference is same, in which the graphite is an element, only contain carbon. And the second difference, in graphite, it has a hexagonal structure, and diamond, sorry, and silicon 4 oxide, it is tetrahedral. Take the screenshot.